done, and he doesn't get 50%.
Maybe, I don't know, like 21, 2020, 21. Well, they counted my sister.
I'm trying to anti-vax.
Probably anti-vaccine. Yeah. She used to be mad at me. There's a,
Are you going to do that? And then I told her I was taking screenshots and recording her to her boss and she was already one of theirs. I said, we'll find out which one's the forward.
All right. Well, I guess I will go ahead and call us to order. I'm still a little bit late, but that should be all right. So thank you for everyone coming out. Glad to see everyone this evening. Welcome to the Graduate and Professional Student Council, or one of our guests this evening. I'm the president of the Graduate and Professional Student Council, Clay. With the events for this evening, I'm very excited to be presenting a series of awards to remarkable individuals for their efforts in service and their research and teaching. It's pretty great. I think this is a really important part of some things that the Graduate and Professional Student Council can do, recognizing those individuals on our campus that are doing great things for those of us that are a part of the campus. And recognition is pretty important. And so one of the things I wanted to mention at the top before I go into the service awards themselves, I wanted to thank everybody for this meeting and really for the year. In addition, this meeting and these awards that we're giving out wouldn't be possible without our council and our members. It wouldn't be possible without all of those that volunteered to serve on the committees to review the applications for research awards. It wouldn't be possible without those that served on the committee to review those applications for the teaching awards. It wouldn't be possible for everybody that volunteered to bring everything together for tonight. So really, I'd like to thank you all, recognize the members of the council, all of our members of council, for what you've provided for us this year by graduate students, professional students. And with that, I'd also like to say that I guess in some ways high potentially, if anyone I seriously doubt is watching the live stream for this, but perhaps they'll watch it later. But our colleagues, many of our colleagues in the GPSC from the School of Law are here tonight. It is final week in the School of Law, and so many of those from the School of Law are not with us, but they both are with us in spirit. And so, with all that in order, I'll go ahead and launch into service awards as best as I can. So for this evening, we're recognizing 3 individuals with our service awards, with the awards, an Outstanding Service Award and Distinguished Service Award. And I feel like for our organization, for graduate and professional students, recognizing the efforts of those on the part of service is really important, because to me, at least, graduate and professional student council, that's one of our principal objectives. That is a core part of our mission, is service to graduate and professional students. And of course, the affairs of the university, as well as our graduate and professional students' lives in general. And so, taking the time to really consider those individuals that are contributing to the overall service provided for graduate and professional students, the university, and GPSC in general, I feel like is a really important step. And so, it's kind of funny, with the podium and the mic and recognizing these really great individuals and their accomplishments, and what they've done for students and our organization, the university, kind of raised the stakes a little bit for me here, so I'm more nervous than normal. Bear with me. But I'll launch into here for our first award there. So our first award is for our Outstanding Service Award. And to just give a general description, our Outstanding Service Award is GPSC's way to honor and express gratitude for those persons, groups, or organizations who demonstrated commensurate determination and commitment, excellence and achievement in practice, and resolution to the well-being, investment in, and success of graduate and professional students at SIUC. GPSC's Outstanding Service Awards recognize those persons, groups, or organizations whose contributions and efforts are exemplars of aspirational and ideal conduct in which others may strive in their own efforts to serve the students of SIUC and the missions of GPSC and SIUC. So for this evening, I'm really proud to introduce and award Brian Lockett with our 2019 Outstanding Service Award. So just a little bit about Brian. I actually met Brian last year in GPSC. And truth be told, I was initially a little disappointed about the prospect of him serving as our student trustee. Because, to me, I was thinking about, isn't he wouldn't likely be a voting member of GPSC this year? And what contributions he could provide to our efforts, without him being a member of council, it'd be diminished. So I was a little concerned, I was a little disappointed, I mean, it's great, he won student trustee election last year. But, in the course of this year, I couldn't have been more wrong in feeling those reservations. So ultimately, Brian has demonstrated commensurate determination and commitment, excellence and achievement in practice, and resolution to the well-being, investment in, and success of graduate and professional students at SIUC. As student trustee, Brian has not just represented the students of SIUC in the matters before the SIU Board of Trustees. He has been a vocal, deliberate, and determined advocate for the needs, concerns, and interests of students. And all the while, he conducted himself with a level of professionalism and integrity. It's not only to the benefit of students, but it's unfortunately too often not demonstrated by others at SIU. Now, in addition to his role as student trustee, as an instructor, graduate student, and a colleague, Brian has been integral, essential, to keeping members of the SIUC campus informed and engaged, as he has done with events and forums such as the Campus Conversation Series. Brian has also been vital to numerous collaborative efforts across campus, such as the Salukis and Springfield Legislative Lobby Day, and a campus task force on diversity and minority affairs. So an interesting aspect to the student trustee position is not really a framework or guidelines for what or how to carry out one's office as student trustee. Kind of interesting. You're appointed to that board, you function on that board. As a student trustee, if you're awarded the vote, you actually have a vote in the matters that come before the board. It's also not paid. So in turn, whatever a student trustee takes on, and Brianna's taken on a lot as student trustee, you volunteer that, unpaid, as a service to those you represent. For Brianna, in making students the focal point of every matter, it's meant taking on often uncharted and unmanaged, but extremely important responsibilities and efforts in order to contribute towards student success and well-being. I continue to be impressed and humbled, Brianna. So, there is a little dimension in the sense that Brianna has been successfully re-elected as student trustee, and I'm ecstatic for that. I know that that will mean many great things in the years to come. And so, with him being re-elected now, he was nominated prior to that re-election being confirmed. But nonetheless, there is that question of, well, perhaps we're recognizing too early that maybe the right time would be next year when he's likely graduated from his PhD program, having served 2 years as a student trustee, and any number of other ways that he's served graduate professional students as well as the university. But in our consideration of whether awarding Brianna this Outstanding Service Award, it kind of occurred to us that the character of Brianna is such that he's never going to stop doing this. He will consistently do this kind of activity and invest himself in the betterment and care of others. And so it kind of doesn't matter that one might see this as too early, because no matter what, he's going to just continue to do it. And so we need to recognize that value, those efforts, and that dedication when it occurs, particularly when it's going to continue to occur. And so, in all these ways, Brianna's contributions and efforts stand as exemplars, aspirational, and ideal conduct to the service of graduate and professional students. Conduct we find others may strive for in their own efforts to serve students of SIUC and the missions of GPSC and SIUC. Please join me in GPSC in thanking and recognizing with this award Brianna's outstanding service. You want your award? Well, this is heavy. It is. Yeah. I'm afraid to let me put this down like this. I'm scared.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good, can you hear me? Do I need this thing? Okay. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, GPSC. Thank all of you for this recognition. If anybody caught it, Clay, when giving an intro, giggled when he said professionalism when he was describing me. Those of you that know me, I've got no problem cussing people out really quick. So I think that's where that giggle comes from. So, but I appreciate that, Clay. I won't take too much of your time, but I mean, I couldn't do anything I've done this past year in the 9.5 years, 9.5 years I've been here, without you all as colleagues. You've been great. You come to these events wouldn't occur if you didn't say, hey, we need this and we need to make this happen, and that's it. And being in attendance. So you guys have made me. So I thank you. This award is outstanding service to all of you. You use your own gas to come to these meetings, or yell at me or send me emails. Ultimately, vote for me as well. The second term has been huge. I think everybody that voted took the time out because I think it was 370 something votes to 20 something write-ins. One of those write-ins was these nuts. Okay. So I thank you all for being engaged and voting for me and with that background, having some awareness of what I've done, what I plan to continue to do as student trustee. I'm not going to sit up here all day, but I'll give a little promotion. After this meeting, I won't be leaving early, but on Tuesday nights, I DJ host DJ No Request karaoke at Hanger from 9 to 1:30. So if you're looking for something to do after this, come sing a song with me, and I'll be your biggest fan on that stage. And like I will be on the stage. So thank you all. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, GPSC. Thank you all. And what's doing it?
I know I don't really need it, but others may. All right, so I know I'm a little long-winded, but I really care about all of these awards, and I wrote these things, and if I try to go off script, I'm going to probably just devolve into nonsense. It's been a very fun day. So, moving on to our next two awards, which are both Distinguished Service Awards. So, our Distinguished Service Awards recognize, honor, and express gratitude to those persons, groups, or organizations who, in the course of their work and duties, are demonstrative of excellence and illustrious in exemplary commitment to the support, advancement, and achievement of SIUC graduate and professional students, the mission of GPSC, and the mission of SIUC. So the first Distinguished Award recipient we have to honor and recognize this evening is Rachel Steiger, one of our 2019 Distinguished Service Award recipients. That's me sticking to the script, so I don't fall into. So this is actually Rachel's second year in GPSC. I actually had to ask to make sure, which is unfortunate, but I wanted to make sure. And sadly, it's also her last. Rachel is graduating, moving on to other great things. But so in this second year as a member of GPSC, Rachel not only served in council, but also on our executive board, graduate council, and served as GPSC's Director of Campus and Community Affairs. Throughout, Rachel has demonstrated exemplary commitment to the support, advancement, and achievement of SIUC graduate professional students, the mission of GPSC, and the mission of SIUC. In all these diverse roles, and as an unpaid volunteer, Rachel has consistently demonstrated willingness to assume responsibilities, take on duties to the service of students and GPSC. One of those areas that occurred this year was in graduate council, and Rachel's service on the research committee in that council. And as that committee was discussing a matter related to dog and cat research, there were any number of hours, any number of meetings, any number of discussions, questions, research that Rachel engaged in as a part of that committee work. In fact, in many ways, Rachel was one of the ones that pushed that committee to really dig deeper into the issue, take 2, 3 different looks at it. As the director for our Campus and Community Affairs program, this was a brand new project of the Graduate Professional Student Council. And it was just really an abstract idea of something we could potentially do that I proposed to our executive board. I had some rough ideas, but not a lot figured out. And Rachel volunteered and said, hey, I'm interested in that, I'll take it on. And from there, went on to collaborate with any number of different units on campus, any number of different persons, hold different meetings. She learned the trials and tribulations of emails and how difficult those can be. And that was not an easy job. And it was an unpaid job. But it was a valuable experience for the Graduate Professional Student Council. We learned a lot, and we'll continue to learn from the work that she contributed in that role. So throughout, Rachel has executed these roles with unquestionable dedication and professionalism, in openness and collaborative spirit, and agility and responsiveness. Oftentimes, these responsibilities required Rachel to react, adapt, and develop solutions in real time, particularly in that area of campus community affairs and in the Graduate Council Research Committee. So, significantly though, Rachel has served these roles, served students and GPSC with, I'm going to hopefully get this right, selflessness. Yeah, I did it. All right. I practiced that. And I say that because it's been a long week, but I believe that was last week. We were in a meeting in my office, and Rachel brought up this idea that she's like, I feel like I didn't really do anything that would merit receiving this award. And we were sort of in a conversation about the Campus and Community Affairs part of GPSC this year, and discussing actually the report that she did in assessment of the program, how well it did, and was going to be submitting that report in the next couple of days. And I was kind of baffled by the idea that it's just like, I didn't do anything. It's just like, well, for a frame of reference, think about how little I did for this thing that was just an idea I had about something we could do this fall. How many emails did I send for this? How many meetings did I have? How many different units did I go and try and collaborate with or get information? How many of these events did I actually organize and work with those program directors that actually ran and developed the programs in place? I didn't do any of that. She did all of it. So that's selflessness. It was rather remarkable. So throughout this year, Rachel has remained focused on our mission and on the service and the value these efforts provided to students, GPSC, and SIUC. With that said, please join me in GPSC in thanking and recognizing with this award Rachel's distinguished service.
So thank you. I'm deeply honored by this GPSC. I'm so ecstatic to say, but also a little sad to say that this has been the best learning experience of my time at SIU. Programming is difficult for graduate students, for teachers, and for students. And we're family members, we're friends, we're researchers. But I'm glad that we learned a lot with the work that I've done, and I hope that GPSC will continue to grow and continue to provide great professional and personal development opportunities for graduate students to better our education here, because it's done the world.
Upset. All right, I'm a little over time. I apologize. So, our last Distinguished Service Award, or Service Award in general, I'm very proud to introduce and award Dr. Julianne Wallace with our 2019 Distinguished Service Award. And so, actually I've struggled a little with what remarks to provide for your introduction, Dr. Wallace. So in these parts, in GPSC, I feel like I'm pretty well known. And so it's in many ways a situation where your reputation precedes you in excellent ways. Very, very consistent with our honor and recognition of you tonight. And so just a little bit about Dr. Wallace. Dr. Wallace earned her doctorate in exercise physiology in 2004 from Iowa State University. And in August 2004, joined the faculty of SIU as an assistant professor of exercise physiology in the Department of Kinesiology. I was worried about these words. Since coming to SIU, Dr. Wallace has served as the program director for the exercise science major, as the chair for the Department of Kinesiology, and as an interim chair for the Department of Public Health and Recreation Professions. Since January 2018, Dr. Wallace has served as interim associate dean and director for the graduate school. In many ways, how we all know Dr. Wallace in the Graduate and Professional Student Council. And as I'm confident is true since coming to SIU, as interim associate dean and director for the graduate school, Dr. Wallace has consistently demonstrated exemplary commitment to the support, advancement, and achievement of SIUC graduate and professional students. Dr. Wallace has been committed to student well-being and development, consistently engaged in understanding student needs, focused on solutions, and approached this process with an emphasis on how can I help. I hear Dr. Wallace say something along those lines of that phrase so often. What can I do to help? I hear others tell me the same thing. How can I help? What can I do? It's a truly remarkable quality of Dr. Wallace as an educator, an administrator, a mentor, and as a colleague. Dr. Wallace draws people in. She brings them together. She includes persons, gathers together the understanding for what their needs are, and then combines their forces with the efforts of others to address the issue, develop solutions, and act. Dr. Wallace has demonstrated these qualities in so many ways it's not possible to list them all. So to just name a few, within Graduate and Professional Student Council and our service mission to graduate and professional students, she's assisted and advised with academic grievances, collaborated to advance academic and non-academic support resources, continued to support GPSC survey of graduate and professional students, and has sought opportunities for graduate academics, and has remained accessible and responsive to students. In all, through Dr. Wallace's efforts in the graduate school, students of SIUC have been provided a vital resource. One GPSC certainly does not take for granted, and one that even I am personally very thankful. Not being an advocate for graduate students and graduate academics. So, as I've considered recognizing Dr. Wallace with this award, one thing I think really sums it up. So, I think the thing about the duties and the roles of an administrator, someone that's charged with understanding and addressing the needs of an organization and those it's meant to serve. Someone who, once identifying those needs, works purposefully and tirelessly towards progress on that mission, bringing together resources, processes, and people. Dr. Wallace, I cannot think of a better example of that in my time here at SIU. So with that, please join me and GPSC in thanking and recognizing this award. Dr. Wallace is distinguished.
Wow. I've done a lot of talking today, but I'm not going to miss this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for this tremendous honor. More importantly, thank you for accepting me. In January of 2018, I was kind of thrust into the role of interim associate dean and director, and I've been filling that role for over a year and a half. Without your cooperation and your trust in me, this would not have been possible. And I really hope to have the opportunity to continue to serve graduate students. So thank you. You've all been tremendous professionals to work with. You're going to go on and do amazing things in your various careers, and I look forward to watching you and hopefully keep in touch. And for those of you who will still be here for a while, you know where to find me. So thank you.
All right, that concludes the service awards portion of our agenda this evening. And with that, I can turn over the ceremonies to Diana. Correct?
Although you are welcome to hand out,
Yeah.
take photos, as you always are dressed so fancy.
I could-
You're more photogenic than I am.
Someone got a phone with me like, we'll be all right.
And I probably don't want to use my phone, so I'm gonna make some real bad noises for a second. And then, there we go. I think that will still pick up my voice, not necessarily noises. So we now turn to our portion of the award ceremony that honors our selected recipients of the 2019 GPSC Research Awards. This is quite an honor to receive. In the past, we have, like last year, we received nearly 100 applications for this award. And this year, we also received a huge volume. And the distinguished nature of those who are receiving this award today is outstanding, knowing that they have won this against 55 other applicants. So really, the volume of that speaks to itself. I'm going to give you the opportunity, because this is it's like what they have to turn in and what they have to do to achieve this is they have to submit a letter of support, describe their research, and then kind of talk about the implementation of the project and how this directly supports their thesis and dissertation, which speaks to the greater value of research on this campus and all that happens. So if you would like to give a 500-word abstract of your, I will give a quick summary because it really is, there's so much depth to all the research. So all I can possibly do is just give a quick summary because it is something that is a thesis, a dissertation that can't be described in the time frame that we have here. I also would like to quickly thank those who participated on the selection committee. It is always a really hard decision. We had 10 people, or 8 people this year who volunteered, and were able to go through that. And it is always a fun Saturday afternoon as we look through pretty outstanding research. And it becomes very difficult conversations as we do put into our peer review. So thank you very much. Big applause to you. So the first recipient I would like to honor is, and I apologize now if I mispronounce anyone's name, is Pearl Deku. She is a master's student in geography and environmental resources. Her research focuses on the assessment of sustainable solid waste management in Ghana. Pearl, are you here? After you. After you. For a live from you and anyone else who's a recipient of any words regarding your project and its importance if you choose. You can also be our task. Would you like to tell us a little bit more?
I didn't see much, but I just want to thank GPSC for this opportunity. Achieve my master's degree. Thank you.
Our next recipient is Katarina Alves, and she is a doctoral student in the psychology department. And like, I was really fascinated by your research and your passion that came out in your application. But she focuses on sex trafficking victims and works directly with them to help develop resources to support practitioners and policymakers in the future. So, give her a round of applause. And you're also welcome to say words if you choose.
Really quickly, very short. I just want to thank you so much for the GPSC for this great. I am truly honored and amazed that I am getting this compared to everyone's amazing research and commitment to their own research. And I will have to say I dedicate this to all the survivors that I've worked with, and every single ounce of the money for this award will be put into that research. Thank you so much.
No, they may not be getting as fancy of trophies, but this is a competitive award because they do get a financial award that goes directly into supporting their research. Whether that is traveling to meet with survivors, traveling to, or just traveling, finding the resources that they need to accomplish their work. So it's very. The next, and I apologize once again if I say names wrong, is Sue Lee. Sue Lee is a doctoral student in the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Their research focuses on interviewing current and former, I'm going to say this wrong, Hmong gang members in the United States to understand and analyze their life history. I don't know. All right, next, I'm very excited to honor one of our own GPSC representatives, Xiao Li. Xiao Li is a doctoral student in the history department, and their research focuses on the career of Yami Qian, a Chinese woman whose transnational career influenced medicine and women's rights in China and in the United States. You are also welcome to say a few words if you.
Thank you very much. This is true honor for me, and this is great encouragement and help to my dissertation and my education. So I truly thank GPSC and thank you all for your support. I wish you a good end of this semester.
All right. Finally, Jessica, first Jessica, but also Ji, I've been pronounced this wrong, is a master's student in the Department of Geography and Environmental Resources. Their research focuses on using social network analysis and geographic information systems to understand the social support of the coal industry in the United States. Now, I've got to say, I was one of your judges during the student creative activities and research forum, and your enthusiasm is definitely better put on a poster presentation because I was like, wow, you were really into your project, and it seemed like you had so much to discover within that. So I just wanted to say, I don't know if you remember me, but I remember you, and I remember that enthusiasm. So thank you for that.
I was really surprised with the award, but it's going to really help for my research because part of the main thing I needed this is because I had to use the data and they started to do it the last year and last year, and it's very expensive. And it's on monthly basis, so I have to pay that monthly. So this is going to be very helpful for the base of my data collection. So I really want to thank you for this. And yeah, wish everyone have a good day.
Thank you all so much. And I know there's opportunities too to further demonstrate your research around campus. We often get asked more questions about those who are recipients of our awards. And so I might be reaching out to you in the future to highlight your successes and the productions of your work. Now I turn to our GPSC's Outstanding Graduate Teaching Award. So throughout the academic year, graduate teaching assistants relate their unique knowledge and training to engage undergraduate students on a personal level to form a sense of community in a classroom setting. I lied. These everyday personal and communal experiences in and out of the classroom have had and will continue to have a tremendous and long-lasting impact on past, present, and future salutees. The recipients of this inaugural GPSC Outstanding Graduate Teaching Awards truly encompass the mission and goals of this university by embracing a unique tradition of access and opportunity, inclusive excellence, innovation and research and creativity, and outstanding teaching focused on nurturing student success. So I really do look forward to introducing and honoring these recipients this evening. And I ask, because I'm going to give a little bit of what they were able to submit. So I ask that you hold your applause until they're able to come up and receive the award. And I'm not sure if everyone's here with us today, but I'm still going to celebrate them. So our first recipient is Trisha Kershaw. Trisha is a doctoral candidate in the Department of Sociology, where she has taught sections in the Introduction to Sociology and Race and Ethnic Relations. She's also been an instructor of record of her own courses on popular culture and women and men in contemporary society. Trisha's former student proudly nominated her, stating the following: Trisha Kershaw is not only a wonderful instructor, she's also a wonderful person. I was a student in her popular culture class during the fall semester of my junior year, and I could say with full sincerity that I am a better person for it. I am more confident in who I am. Trisha taught in such a respectful yet appropriate manner. She made sure every single one of us felt respected and empowered to our own opinions. And later they wrote, Trisha made sure every one of us knew how important we are, not only in her class, but in the world. If I had to choose any instructor to have received an award for their work, Trisha Kershaw would be the first person to pop into mind. I loved every second in her class. I don't think Trisha is here with us, so, but if they are watching, congratulations. Our next recipient, and I apologize if I do pronounce his name, is Cosmin Rajapaksa. Yeah? Cosmin is a doctoral student in the Department of Mathematics who understands that mathematics is a learning process and not a gift. Although several of the students believe that they are poor at math, Cosmin's aim and goal is to restore their confidence and encourage them through the process of learning through a very challenging topic. His former students wrote in their letter of support, when it comes to student and professor rapport, a patient and supportive attitude goes a long way to empower the students to succeed. Several times he made himself available to help me after class and discuss challenging materials. Because of him, I succeeded. And I mean, yours was really great, and I wanted to kind of talk about the depth of your practices. So he also had a wonderful teaching philosophy, and in that you could see the practices of taking those moments and understanding the care of the difficulty of that topic. And for those students who were poor at math, he met them with generosity, and then those who were excellent, he challenged them even further. I didn't want to quite articulate that in here, but you did a great job. So thank you. Everybody gets one. They say what
Thank you for a lot. So most challenging part of teaching mathematics is tell them this is not a game. You have to try, then you will succeed. Like, thank you.
I might be in trouble for the parts that I included in this next person's teaching philosophy. But our next recipient, is Darren Valenta. Darren is a doctoral candidate in the Department of Communication Studies, who has taught a variety of courses ranging from, and the list is long, the introductory course, which is public speaking, interpersonal communication, persuasion, small group communication, and business and professional communication. That's a lot during your time here at SIU. His teaching philosophy placed smiles on all of the selection committee's faces when he wrote, I almost feel like you should read this. The quintessential supernatural nanny and widely respected educator, Mary Poppins, once argued, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. While true in relation to taking disgusting cough medicine or completing arduous chores, this often repeated adage provides me with a profound bit of personal inspiration. Learning is made more enjoyable when combined with a bit of play. As an undergraduate instructor, I view my responsibility as more than the mere transference of technical skills meant to help my students in their future endeavors. Rather, I feel called to help them cultivate an ongoing love of learning on their way to becoming more thoughtful and critical human beings. Smiles. But wonderful, but also, we were also so impressed by their letter. To receive this award, I should mention that every person who was an applicant had to have a letter of support from an undergraduate student that they had influenced. And is that student here? Oh, wow. Your letter of support was fantastic. And the fact that Darren's influence, I think all of us as instructors want to create that sparkle in someone's eyes that not only makes them more fond of the education environment, of the classroom, of studies, but also becoming an official major in your department. What? So we can get someone to sign up as an official and transfer as an official major in your department because they were so overwhelmed by your classes. But not only that, to want to go on to get a graduate degree in that field because they were so impressed by the knowledge that they learned in someone's classroom. Really impressive letter. I almost feel like you should say some words. And Darren, congratulations.
Wow, thank you, Diana, for that, and for the sharp award. Not much to say. Very humbling to be honored here tonight alongside all of you who are accomplishing so much. Teaching is a tough gig, but through my work here at SIU, I've really found out that it's a thing that I was meant to do and that I love. And fortunately, I've had wonderful students, one of whom is here today. I've had some wonderful students who make that job a little bit easier, a little bit more fun, and really enable me to embrace the feeling of play that I think is important for lifelong learning and for taking these lessons beyond the classroom. I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to my wife, Ashley, who also served as an inspiration. Thank you.
All right, I kind of want to give everyone at this point a round of applause once again for all of their. So now we turn to the next portion of our presentation, which is our closing remarks and thanks to the council. And I'm just going to kind of wing this one because I kind of want to see it from the heart in my thank you. Before we thank our council, we always have a tradition of particularly thanking our outgoing executive members. So I would really like to thank Jordan Van Dever for their service and commitment to GPSC during their time here at SIU. Many of you have met Jordan throughout the course of GPSC, but may not know the depths of what she has done in service to us. So she, in my opinion, has always been a wonderful bridge that can communicate and serves both our graduate students and our law students on this campus. She came in both as a council member and then served further on the fee allocation board. She has served on the research committee for multiple years and has gone through dozens and dozens and dozens of applications with me on a Saturday morning. Beyond that, she was elected by her peers to be on graduate council and to be serving both as a representative of law school, but also as a Saluki, who's been here for a long time. Jordan got her undergraduate degree here and advanced degrees here at SIU as a proud Saluki. But also this year had the honor of serving with her side by side as she served in the role of Vice President of Graduate Student Affairs. One that was taken on at a difficult time frame and unexpectedly. But I think that you were rose to the occasion and that you were always humble and grateful for that learning experience. And so personally, I just want to also thank you as a friend and as an ally. I feel that you have been so helpful to me directly as an individual on this council in support and particularly with your service by always providing a smile. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed Jordan's smile, but it's that she has a way of calming the mood, of looking at things from an outside perspective and giving great advice and procedures of moving forward in a calm, cool manner.
And so with that, we do have some things for you, and in recognition of your time at GPSC, sort of as a parting gift. So the interesting thing is that we actually sort of have two. We've got a gavel and a block, and we've been joking that this one's sort of like the travel gavel. So when you take with you when you're on the go to adjudicate those legal matters. That's expertise. And then we got a sort of grander size ones that we don't have any grade for you right now, but we can get the grade later. So. Oh, and I felt like Travel Gavel has like just a really fantastic thing.
Great market.
It's fantastic. And so, yeah.
Briefly, not pressure.
Okay, I'm gonna be short as always. I love GPSC and I had a great time serving for 3 years. And I really enjoyed getting to know everyone from different departments and get out of my little law school bubble, which is tough to break out of sometimes. Everyone here is very welcoming and I really enjoy getting to know you all. And last year has been tremendous, but it was very difficult to begin with, and I've come through it. Thank you.
Well, I guess in typical fashion, I will try to bring our affairs to close. And so with our closing remarks, thanks to council, add on there at the end, Jordan, thank you for everything. Like Diana, you've done so much for the Graduate Special Council, Graduate Special Students. I'm certainly going to miss your smile, your personality, what you bring to the room, and really just your patience and knowledgeable and everything that comes with the rest of the party. And with that, also thanks to all of our council members this year. 100% Graduate Special Student Council's strength, its ability to do what it does, and where we can take it, is built off of our council membership and everything every council member contributes. I'd like to also thank everyone that took on that added effort for our campus and community affairs programming. There are numerous persons that took on the ownership of developing and then carrying out, running a program as a part of that. And those were not easy efforts. It is always difficult to run programs, and I cannot thank you enough for that. Everyone that served on one of our committees, everyone that served graduate council, everyone that served on the executive board, everyone that served on the university committee. Thank you very much. All that you've done is greatly appreciated. There's not a way for me to express the things that I wish to. And so, with that being said, our last item is good of the order. And so at this time, if anyone has anything to add, it's a part of our last meeting for the year. Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow, right by the Student Center, Banner Hall South Breezeway, the Aegis, the English Grad Association, will be hosting a book sale. Paperbacks are free for $1 and hardcovers are $1. And I'm there for most of it, and I probably let you take 6 for $1. Put that out every one and gone. Also, so that runs from 9 to 3, and from at least 12 to 3, there's gonna be a nacho stand next door, hosted by a sorority. So I'm just saying, books and nachos. Free cash. Free cash.
I will bring up as well, we have those quarter sheets again for the diversity and inclusivity trainings from the Office of Associate Chancellor for Diversity. They're in the back. There are a couple more coming up for those in May. I have some quarter sheets for the graduate schools finals week event that I believe is next Wednesday. There's a quarter sheet back there for that. Probably have some things going out on our social media. We have those forms that sent in an email to council membership for the search for the associate dean and director of the graduate school. There are one tomorrow morning at 9 and another on Thursday morning at 9. For that email or ask questions after the meeting. And the last thing that I'll add, so long as it did what I thought it was going to do, all of our council members should have received at about 8:15 tonight the email for our council exit survey. So go ahead and check your inboxes for that. That survey should be now in that inbox. And so I would entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion is seconded. All in favor? Any
And now, I
opposed?
just want to ask, yes, if you were, since this is also technically our general body meeting, if you were here as a council member, please make sure to sign in. Also, we do have a lot of food left over, so if you would kind of want to hang out in the table, I'm seeing some London cakes, cookies, veggies, and fruit, so saying, our grass is to go.
Also, if you're a member of GPSC and you're graduating, will you meet at the podium?
Where are we?